Hi, this is Ryan from GBoost Technology, and today we're going to talk about our DCP26 Can-Am secondary pin removal tool. The reason we built this tool is because when we went to install our first prototype rollers during the testing period, it was very difficult to remove the pin. Can-Am suggests you use a slide hammer from Snap-on, which is very expensive, plus it didn't work very well. I personally went to install 3 rollers and found myself in the shop for 2 hours doing it. Heat, a lot of issues, it just wasn't fun. We came up with this tool to aid in taking that pin out. Now the tool's pretty simple. You're going to see that when you order the tool there's a plate which is made out of steel and zinc plated and heat treated for strength. So this bolt comes separate and it has to be assembled. So you'll have your bolt, your nut, your washer, your adapter tip, and another little nut to hold it on the end. When assembling this tool, we like to see that you put a bunch of grease on here. The more the better. You're going to create less friction and it's going to help from galling the threads. So once you install your nut, your washer, you can install your tip. The set screw will have a hex head on one side and not on the other. I like to thread the hex head into the bolt itself. The reason I do that, for some reason, that bends, or if it gets stuck in the threads, unthread your center bolt and then you're able to get your adapter. You want to make sure whenever replacing these that everything's clean as well. Otherwise you will dish your clutch and have issues. Before installing your rollers into your driven clutch, you want to make sure the ramps of your helix are in good condition. If there's any grooving, any sharp edges on your helix, you're going to damage and possibly destroy the new rollers you're going to put in. Once you have it together, you'll have to remove the T20 Torx bolt that's holding that pin in. When installing the tool on the clutch, one thing you want to make sure you do is you grease the threads of the tool. I even put a little dab on the washer just to help prevent it from galling the threads and destroying the tool. So when you're installing the tool, you want to make sure that both sides of this plate are lined up in the bosses of the clutch. Once that's level inside the clutch, you'll take and screw the adapter into the pin. I typically like to thread it in all the way till it bottoms out inside that pin to ensure that all the threads are being used when pulling the pin out. In certain cases, the pin can become seized inside the clutch, which is necessary to heat. I just apply heat to this outside. There's not a ton of heat necessary in here, but you want to be careful. You could melt and destroy parts of the clutch that aren't meant to be heated. We have our secondary clutch sheave installed into our DCP21 clutch holding fixture. This aids in being able to work with this without it rolling on the bench or having somebody hold it. It's solid, it works extremely well. Once you got your tool threaded in, everything tight, what you'll do is you'll take 2 3/4 inch wrenches. You'll put one on the outside and use the other one on the inside. And holding that outside one, you'll turn the inside nut. That pin is coming out. I'm not putting any pressure on it. If you have one that seems to be difficult, stop. If it's coming out hard, add some heat. Or if you haven't greased, grease those threads. It's very important if you start struggling and you feel it binding to stop. Damage can occur. Like I said, if it gets, the easiest thing is add heat. And again, just enough so that you can get the roller out. We don't want to pull the pin all the way out. It makes it more difficult to reinstall it. I like to periodically check that roller, see if it's able to come out, which is not quite there yet. Just about. Now I can see on the inside, typically you'll see it drop a little bit when it comes out. There. Keep an eye on that washer. That needs to be reinstalled. Now, for assembly, basically now that the pin's out, we don't want to pull it all the way out again, so loosen it up. Take the tool out, unthread the inside. Simple, easy to use. That's it. Now, when installing a new roller, typically, I think a 5/16 roll pin punch will fit in there really nice. Once you get into the housing, you might want to drop down a size. It gets to be tight in there. We don't want to gall the housing up, but you'll never be able to get that pin back out. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this video helped explain the use of the DCP26. Like us on Facebook and GBoostTechnology.com. Thanks for watching.